Hello, everybody. Welcome back again. I'm the TheSnowSpy, and I'm going to be talking with more people from Verdant. And this time, joining me is going to be Surza, who is the head coach for Verdant. How are you doing today, buddy?
I'm doing okay.
Yeah, I mean, busy for you so far. New year been all right?
Yeah, it's been all right. I mean, just here in Kentucky, it's the first time it's actually snowed this year, so
Oh,
looking forward to that.
oh, no white Christmas for you this time, but I think without further ado, let's just jump straight into it. Get straight into the questions, the nitty gritty. I know probably got a lot to say. So first thing that I'll ask you is, what attracted you to Verdant?
So with Verdant, who I worked with previously on Barrage, Frumu, he had actually told me about the project, and there were a couple of players that he already said were interested in the roster. And after some unfortunate things happened in the off season, I was still looking for a place to coach. So
Mhm.
decided, he told me about the opportunity. I met with Sammy, the owner, very nice guy, and it just drew me to the project to try and build up a team again.
Amazing. And so you said that you worked with Frumu before on Barrage. How
Mhm.
does it feel still working alongside him? Because it's not often that kind of pieces of the same puzzle move along to different organizations together.
So I really like working with Frumi. That's like I said, what drew me to the project.
Mm.
With Frumi, he's a manager that I can very easily work with. We have our differences from time to time, but he's a manager they can really trust, and I know has the best interest for the roster. So I can really trust working with him and know that he's got his area covered, and I can just leave his stuff to him and not have to worry about it.
Amazing. Amazing. That makes it so much easier when you when you know you're with someone that can just handle their stuff so well. Um, in terms of for the team, I want to hear from you as the head coach. What are your goals for this team? So what are you looking to do in this next split?
Sorry about that.
It's all right.
So, I mean, the clear goal is to win.
Yeah.
Get first in regular season, get first in playoffs. But we brought on a lot of pieces here that we're looking to definitely upgrade throughout the season. We brought on Draconium, who's a rookie ADC. We really wanted to have him paired with someone like Winter, who has a history of really training up these rookie ADCs to shine really brightly. He did it for the last year or two in North America. And
Mm.
then we also have Keys role swapping from top to jungle. So while we want to win, we have our growth pieces on this roster and we're really looking to kind of take this season as an opportunity to improve the roster so that we can go into summer even stronger.
Oh wow. So you're gonna start out strong and then get even stronger as the year goes on. Love to
Yeah.
hear it. And you spoke about Winter. That was another player that I was gonna bring up. He's also an American resident. And I just want to kind of ask you, how come the choice to go for Winter? Because obviously he's an NA player. He's gonna possibly have issues playing with the ping. What does Winter have that EU supports don't?
Um, so I don't think it's any secret that outside of like the top end, supports is kind of one of the hardest roles to get with Europe. And from North America with Winter, he's proven himself in amateur as one of the top supports. He's always, making scouting grounds. He's always coming in top place amateur teams, but he's just not been given a shot in academy. So for him, he was looking for a new challenge because you can only win amateur so much.
Yeah.
And for us, he's, you know, just leagues above other supports that we've trialed, even on high ping. So it was kind of a no brainer to just go with him, especially, since this is a growth project, having him with all of his experience was,
Mm.
I mean, before he even went under knew the option of he could play, could even potentially play from Canada. We were using him to scout other supports because we valued his opinion that much.
Oh, wow. So he's definitely been a part of this process going all the way through.
Yeah.
Amazing. And so you've obviously got Winter, you've obviously got a fair new set of players, and I imagine a lot of players that haven't played together as much. What are your thoughts about this roster going into this split? I know your goals are to win. In terms of this roster, how's it been looking so far?
I mean, it's been looking great so far. They've already shown signs of what you want from a roster. I think probably outside of play, the most impressive thing that I've seen so far was after we finally signed the roster. The next day, we had probably all five of them in the Discord just playing like Minecraft and other games together. So they're all hanging out. They're all getting along great. So you already have that kind of foundation of these players are going to work with each other. They like each other. They play other games with each other. So it
Mm,
creates a really strong culture of them wanting to improve together as well. You're not having to pull teeth to
mm.
get them to play duo queue together or anything like that, or make sure they show up. They're already showing up. They're already passionate and wanting to improve.
That's so sweet to hear. I love it. And they're just all playing Minecraft together afterwards. It'll be that point where you'll have to be like, "No, guys, we need to play League of Legends, not Minecraft all the time."
Or
But
TFT.
yeah, or TFT. Oh god, but that's just helping them build comps. You know, it's draft practice over and over again.
No, no, I got the drafts handled.
You've already got that part down. So I think it would be kind of unfair of me. I asked about Winter, the NA support. I'm going to ask about your situation. So you're a person that you live in NA, but you've been coaching and working for British organizations quite a lot. What is it that interests you about the European scene rather than the North American scene?
So it's kind of like the same situation with Winter. Before I came over to the EU scene, I spent a lot of time in North American Amateur and like semi-pro with like Optic and Tempo Storm.
Mm,
And there just always seemed like there's a barrier of getting higher in North America, no matter like even if you're putting up good results, even if you're doing well with your rosters. I was coach for Polar Ace, Radiance, and we had like a very dominant year. But even if you're getting results and putting forth good showings, it doesn't mean you're going to get picked up in North America. So it kind of got to the point of if I want to keep coaching, I'm either going to be stuck in North American Amateur, where, I mean, even with the recent changes, it's still uh, a couple of years off from being like a sustainable system for amateur
mm.
teams. So that's why I wanted to make the move to Europe, and why I wanted to kind of prove I can do what I did in North America in Europe as well.
Amazing. And so, since you've made that transition from the North American amateur scene into the ERL system within Europe, what are some of the key differences that you've been noticing? Because I know it's been a little while for you, but just elaborate for us some of those differences.
I definitely say probably the biggest difference is the sheer size of the player base and scouting, as well as just kind of the approach to scrims. We actually had a moment, I think 2 days ago, when talking with Winter, because he's experienced the same thing, where he's like, okay, so when are we going to be scrimming our opponents? Like in the Div 2. And in North America, you have to scrim your competition. There's just not enough good teams that
Mm.
you can avoid scrimming like your most toughest competition. Whereas in the ERL system, you never play your opponents except for on match day. And like that's just something that you're not used to in North America. You're used to having a lot of information about your opponents,
Mm.
scrimming your opponents all the time. Um, when it comes to off seasons, you know the top five names because there's only so many players in the pool. Whereas here, like we probably scouted at one point over 30 different ADCs, which would never happen in North America. So I think like that's one of the biggest differences. It's just the pure amount of talent that you can
Mm.
pull from in Europe versus North America right now.
Yeah, and of all that competition, you're going to be the top of the top. I love the confidence when having that in mind. Um, the one thing I just kind of want to harp on back to is yourself. What are your goals going forward in your league career? I know that you obviously this split want to try win, but what are you looking to do further on down the line?
So just kind of where I am and in life, I'm not exactly looking at going like to LEC or LCS.
Mm,
I'm older in this scene. I'm 30, so for me, I kind of have different life situations. So for me, honestly, what I'm looking to do is try to be on a team like this, or try to get more into teaching and developing not just players but also staff as well, because for me, one of the things I really like about coaching is the teaching aspect and helping other people get better and helping other people understand how to approach the game or approach improving other people better. So that's kind of my goal, is to try and make a career out of that, not specifically just getting to LEC or LCS and going to Worlds and that kind of stuff. Would love to do that, but I
mm.
don't think that's my primary goal anymore.
And it's really sweet to hear that not only are you so invested in the scene in terms of the player talent, but also the staffing talent as well, making sure that you can make that as good as possible. I think we've spoke quite a decent bit about league, so we'll throw in one non-league related question. What do you do outside a league? You can tell us about your hobbies, you can tell us about any other games you play. Just what happens for Surza on the day off?
The day off is Well, on my day off while I'm coaching is working. So I work as a pharmacy technician, but it's pretty much if I'm not coaching league, I'm either working or I'm spending time with my fiance, who came in earlier.
Yeah, yeah, we had to we had to stop a little bit before we started the interview because of some hair drying situation, but we
Yeah, yeah. And so that's kind of spending time with her, watching Netflix, that kind of stuff is what I do to
exactly.
relax
And
and just
and
play other non-related league games.
what are those other non-related league games, if you don't mind me asking? Any
Um,
recommendations?
um, So I have a friend that we play a lot of different co-op games with. So I
Mm,
think new one, Lost Realm, just came out. I think a few like this month on
yeah.
Steam. Really fun so far. Frostpunk is another one I picked up over Christmas, which also lost myself into for a few days. But yeah, lots of different games. I used
Amazing.
to be a big WoW player and still kind of am, but
Oh, is that how you got your start into kind of competitive stuff? Was
yeah,
it?
yeah, that actually is. I used to be a theory crafter and do the like calculus for World of Warcraft
Oh,
to
wow.
figure out the game back in Wrath.
Oh wow. So you were back there. You've been here for time. You've been
Yeah,
ready.
I pretty much just took that, applied it to League. Was thankful League is algebra based and not calculus based,
Yeah.
and
Oh my. So I think in terms of the last thing I kind of want to know from you is tell me what your favorite memory has been of your league career so far. So what's the one point that really stands back to you when you think back?
I've got kind of two.
Go from both?
Two. So one of the like proud memories from pretty much one for North America, one for Europe.
Mm.
So from coaching in North America, probably one of the most memorable things was winning the Tyler One Championship Series back in 2018 because it was a big tournament and
Mm.
it was a $50,000 tournament that we won. So it was just huge underdogs and everything, and we smashed it.
Mm.
So it's just a fun memory of that. And then with Europe, just pretty much any barrage season. I mean, with
Yeah.
barrage was kind of the like my challenge to myself was like, can I come to an org? Barrage. Let's be real, was not a top org, and when before I joined them, and I wanted to see if it was something that I could just join a team, apply my expertise. And so, like, I always think back calling to the first season. We had a very creative roster.
Mm.
Imported Flares, another NA player. We had Sybil from Australia. We had Ericsson on loan. Like, it was just multicultural and out there, and we came third. And
Mm.
it was just a proud moment for me to just take that roster as far as we could on the budget we had. And it was just that was pretty much every season at Barrage. Barrage was just overperforming with the resources that we had. Frumu will tell you, he watches Moneyball before every off season because that's literally all we did with Barrage was play Moneyball, just have a fraction of a budget compared to other teams and still put out great performances.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I can see why you're proud of that then. It's an amazing feat to do, and I'm really glad that you shared that with me, to be honest. I think unfortunately, this is kind of all the time we're gonna have. I'm gonna give you a minute or so if you want. Is there anyone that you want to give a quick shout out to before we do wrap this interview up? Anyone that's influenced your
So besides the people on the E side of things, so Jeff from Barrage for giving me my shot on Barrage,
Mm,
for me, who you've already talked about, who's been my manager since Barrage. Although he's not going to be with me this season, we were originally hoping to have one of my other coaches that I've worked with for a while, Lucian, and I'm hoping
mm.
he's going to do good in the North American side of things. So uh, if anyone's interested in NA, they've got Proving Grounds coming up. They could use the viewership and the attention. So I'm just gonna shout out the entire Proving Grounds system because they need everyone's love.
They do, they do. Oh, that's so nice to hear. Thank you so much, Surza, for joining us today to just release your brain on us. I'm sad that we don't have more time to talk because I'd love to hear more from you, but that is going to be everything from us today, guys. I've been the Snow Spy. I've been joined by Surza. He's answered some wonderful questions, and we'll see you guys next time.